warm sunlight.
Hi guys, how are you? Welcome to my video. So I've been living in Sydney for about a year now with my partner Kai. We've been living in together for about a year. No one really tells you what it's really like to live here in Sydney or in Australia. So I moved from the Philippines, I would say about 4 years ago. I studied university here in Brisbane, and then I went to Sydney to pursue opportunities within my career. It's so beautiful here in Sydney. The opportunities are amazing. I feel like there's so much more than that. It's a very romanticized country, a very romanticized city. So today I kind of just want to talk through what it's really like living here. We're going to talk about how expensive it is to live here. We're going to talk about how hard it is to make friends here, the opportunities, the city that kind of feels like it's going to overwhelm you, the homesickness, and if you're watching this and you want to move to Sydney, you can consider all these factors. And I hope it helps you in some sort of way. I live in the heart of Sydney, in the city. To give you context, because some people live near the beaches, I live near the harbor. When I first got here and when I decided to move here, I didn't realize how much heritage there is in Sydney. And I feel like because I haven't really explored the older side of Sydney, and I love how there's so much charm to Sydney. I live in a 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom apartment. There's no parking because my partner Kai and I, we don't really drive because I work from home for the most part. Kai works in the city, so we just take the public transport. And honestly, having Kai to share settling in and all this chaos of moving into a beautiful apartment has made such a difference. I know it's going to be different for when you're moving alone into a new country or a new city here in Sydney. I kind of want to talk about rent first. Rent in Sydney, oh my gosh, it's genuinely shocking. When I first moved here, I kind of was like, how much per week? Because I moved from Brisbane, right? And Brisbane was okay with rent. And oh my goodness, I was scrolling through looking at listings, and you're really paying premium prices to be here. And it's shocking. It's hard to save up money when your rent is that expensive. But obviously the trade-off is such a beautiful lifestyle. I've been to so many countries and lived in the Philippines. I feel like the lifestyle here in Australia really is the peak pinnacle of living. Like, there's such great work-life balance. The food is amazing. The access of nature and beauty is just so significant. I guess you're paying the price of living a lifestyle that not a lot of countries can offer you. Sydney literally ranks one of the most expensive cities to live in the whole world. So like, you kind of feel it. And people were warning me before I moved here. They were like, oh, are you sure about that? Like, it's so expensive, and like, it's gonna eat you alive. Like, you're not gonna survive Sydney. Like, Sydney's gonna eat you alive. Like, you're so naive. And I'm just like, we'll see about that. I'm so lucky that I'm splitting rent with my partner. Obviously, for the salary ratio to the rent living around the city, I feel like it's absolutely diabolical. I feel like rent can range from 600 to 800 for like a studio. Not in the city, by the way. It's crazy. It stresses me out every night. how am I going to afford this lifestyle? And obviously you do regular weekly groceries. I feel like it's quite similar to the groceries that I do in the Philippines. Kai and I went grocery shopping the other day, and I feel like you can spend more when you just keep getting snacks, but I feel like Kai and I really prioritize protein, veggies, produce, everyday staples, but it all adds up. Groceries would be an average for two people, $160 to $200 per week. Kai and I try to make meal plans as much as possible because eating out is also so expensive. Imagine for one day you're like, I'm gonna eat out. $40 for lunch without drinks. Let's say you'll get like a Coke Zero or an alcohol. It'll be around $50, right? And then let's say for dinner, your friends ask you, hey, let's hang out, let's have dinner, let's go out and eat. You're like, sure. And then you split the bill and it's like 100 per head because it's dinner. And you're just like, how much? It pushes you to work harder. It pushes you to find ways to make opportunities for yourself. It pushes you to really work hard for what you have. And I guess that's the positive side of living in such a big city. Like you start thinking about money and opportunity differently. You start really hustling. You are surrounded by people that feel the same way, people who want to build beautiful things, want to be earning well, and are thinking bigger. I don't know if you know this or anyone has ever told you, but making new friends in a city, in a big city, genuinely feels like the hardest. Making friends is as hard as dating. There will be so many times you feel isolated because you're new into the city. What I find in Sydney is that if they've grown up here in Sydney, there are cliques already. It's hard to kind of insert yourself in those group of people because they've grown up together already. Yeah. Most of my friends are not really from here, if that makes sense. They've just moved here. And I wouldn't compare my friendships here to the same level of deepness that I have with the friends that I have in the Philippines. I feel like humor is so different. Things that you talk about is so different. Every time I converse with people here, it's very surface level, not in a bad way. Obviously, it's like, hiya, how's your day? Oh, the weather is looking so horrible today. Oh my goodness, how was your weekend? You know, it's just like, it gets tiring. And a lot of people are, I would say, because they have those group of friends, they're not willing to kind of make that effort if you're not something that is of use or something that will make their life easier or more, you know, it's almost like a transactional kind of friendship. I wouldn't even call it a friendship. I would call it like a colleague networking kind of thing. I'm very lucky because I've been finding such beautiful people, beautiful friendship groups. Like I had dinner with my friends the other day, and those friendships I know are very genuine friendships that I want to be building to make them lifelong friendships. And it's just so special when you find people that really get you. Like it's so special that get you in a level of like your friends back home, because it's like the universe brought you this person in such almost like a late stage in your childhood teenager life where you're making friends and you instantly click. I think that's the most special thing I've ever experienced. Like I loved meeting my group of people, even being here for just a year in Sydney, and I love everyone and all my friends here in Sydney. But I guess my advice on making friends is say yes to everything. Really push yourself to go out there. Every dinner invitation, in fact, invite people to go coffee or dinner. Like every casual hangout, it matters. Every time I meet someone that I feel like I'm connected with, I'm like, oh my gosh, what's your Instagram? What's your socials? Let's connect. I message them. I'm like, thank you so much for today. I love your energy. Would you like to have lunch sometime? Grab coffee. Sometimes they don't reply, that's okay. And sometimes they say yes, and it turns out amazing. You never know when a connection's gonna turn into a real friendship. So give it like I guess 6 months of you really trying. Speaking of Barrel, literally nature is everywhere. I want to retire in the Southern Highlands. Like, it's so beautiful there. We saw horses, we swam in the waterfalls, and that kind of escape is so necessary if you live in the city. When you go live here, you can like do a weekend trip, a day trip to the beach or to the Southern Highlands or to the Blue Mountains. Like, there's public transport. It's so accessible. I think that's one of the most underrated thing about Sydney is that there's so much more to it than just the beach. Obviously, there's so much amazing wildlife and nature, the harbor, the beaches, the mountains, the countryside, like all of it, everything that you need is in this city. Everything. If you want to go skiing during winter time, you can. If you want to go to the most beautiful beach, you can. If you want to go to a rainforest, you can. So on the days when the city feels too much, you can actually leave it. The city will really push you in ways you can't imagine. In the 1 year that I've been here, I grew exponentially compared to when I was in Brisbane for 4 years. I love Brisbane, don't get me wrong. Yeah, I've had experiences here where it wouldn't have happened if I lived anywhere else. You know, I joined a new agency. We had dinner the other day and I've been working with amazing fashion brands, beauty brands, shooting campaigns for John Pearls, collaborating with creatives. And I think Sydney kind of attracts like a very specific person in the same way how New York attracts a very driven, career-oriented person. Sydney attracts the same, but I guess there's a little bit more balance because it's not as hectic as New York. The person that is attracted by Sydney isn't also willing to settle or, you know, be content. They still want to chase something. You know, when you're surrounded by people like that every day, it raises your own standards and therefore pushes you to grow as well. You just have to keep trying, keep connecting, networking. I kid you not, a lot of my opportunity happens because I connected with someone on LinkedIn and then I texted them. Rejection therapy, like, don't be scared of the word no. Don't be afraid. Ask people because sometimes they say yes. And that one yes, like one of my mentors here in Sydney, she said for every 3 no's, there's gonna be 1 yes that will change your life. And that blew my mind. And ever since, I am like constantly like looking for no's for that 1 yes that will change my life. I've been invited to so many events, like a Shark Beauty event, a House of Sephora event. I went to Vogue Forces of Fashion where I saw Jacob Elordi, Margot Robbie, Hailey Bieber, Rosie Huntington, Rita Ora. I literally attended the Wuthering Heights premiere and then I saw Jacob Elordi and Margot Robbie, and so many pinch me situations here in Sydney. It shows you what kind of city Sydney is, you know what I mean? I think with every good thing comes with its hardships. It's expensive. It's hard to make friends. The cost of living is hard. I'm not even thinking about buying a house here because it's so expensive, you guys. Oh my God. There is a lot of pressure that you feel living in Sydney. You know, there were days where I'm like panicking about how I can maintain being able to pay rent or being able to pay groceries. And there's so many days where I miss my parents back home. I miss my grandparents. I miss my friends, my best friends. I cry about it. I feel lonely. Sometimes there are days where I question if I really made the right choice moving here in Sydney. And honestly, I just want to tell you that that's normal. It's going to be part of living in Sydney if you're moving away, if you're moving from abroad. Like, growth is a process and it's a hard process. It'll break every bone in your body so that you can form into a new beautiful version of you. But those hard days are what shapes you to be such a strong person. You kind of grow without realizing it. It's been one heck of a ride. Like, I love Sydney so much. Yes, it gets tiring, but honestly, I could not wish for anything more. I love it here so much. And without Sydney, I wouldn't have been able to think about all these things that I'm doing or all these opportunities I'm in right now. One day, you're kind of gonna look at yourself in the mirror and be like, oh, she's so different to the person that she was before she moved in Sydney. And obviously Kai, my partner, has been such a massive part of it too. Like, I'm so proud of him. Like, we were looking at places to rent at and there was this one specific apartment we dreamed about and we applied for that one only, and we got accepted. But we didn't have stable jobs, mind you. Like, obviously I had my business, but as soon as we got here, even before we got here, we got opportunities that help us move here. Essentially, like, we really took that risk. I mean, could you imagine? We didn't have anything stable. You know, we moved to a big city from like also another big city, but like Sydney is like a different beast. But yeah, we've grown so much together in this city. Kai and I have been together for 3 years now. Literally 3 years. Sa dalawa, tatlo. 3 years. We've been living together for a year. This year we're gonna turn 4, which is crazy. So if you would ask me if I would like do it again, yes. 100%, 100 times yes. I've also been like more spiritually connected here, which is crazy. I've been finding my connection and my personal relationship to God stronger than it's ever been. And I love it. I've been meditating. I've been focusing on my mental health, focusing on my physical health. I've never taken care of myself this seriously until I've moved here, which is crazy. If you're thinking of moving here, or if you're in the middle part, you know what? It gets better. I feel like you should do it. I feel like you never know what's gonna happen, and you can always take a step back. But you should go for it. Obviously, I've been yapping for so long. I feel like I'm obviously gonna explore more on how visually it's really like to be here in Sydney. And I'd love for you guys to come along. So yeah, if you wanna stay, be part of my community, you know, subscribe to my channel. Hit the notification button. Hit the like button, comment down below. I guess if you're already living here in Sydney, or if you're wanting to move here in Sydney, let me know what you're thinking about. But yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. I'm planning to post 1 a month, okay? But I post consistently on Instagram, TikTok, on YouTube Shorts. I post quite consistently. So you won't even feel like I'm not posting once a month. You'll see me every day. You'll be sick of me. But yeah, thank you so much for watching, you guys. I love you.